The iPhone 13 lineup was one of the biggest upgrades Apple has had in a while, as a bunch of radical new upgrades like the ProMotion display and design changes reminiscent of the iPhone 5 were introduced. With the iPhone 14, however, it seems like Apple is going a step further and finally getting rid of the now 5-year-old notch. What new changes can we see in the iPhone 14? And is it worth skipping the iPhone 13? Let's get started. 1. The cameras. The cameras are getting a big upgrade, as Apple is now shifting to a new 48-megapixel sensor.
A major boost in megapixels for its camera, as a rumor suggests that the two Pro models will be equipped with a triple-lens rear camera system with an upgraded 48-megapixel wide lens and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide and telephoto lens.
With 4 times the resolution of what the iPhone is used to, this sensor will offer much crisper photos with greater detail. Mid-range Androids like the Mi11, Mi11T, and even some high-end ones like the S20 Ultra have been offering phones with camera megapixels in the triple digits for years now. But there's a reason Apple isn't taking a jump as big as that. You see, while a higher number of pixels does mean the detail goes up, it also drastically worsens the low light performance. The pixels are much smaller and can't capture as much light as they used to. This means that low light pictures taken at higher resolution are noticeably softer and colors aren't as accurate. According to some reports, Apple is hard at work perfecting and testing a new camera system that will shock everyone into a stupor. According to Mac rumors, we're expecting improvements to the ultra-wide lens, and there's a possibility the iPhone 14 could get a periscope lens that allows for greater optical zoom, but it's not clear if this is slated for 2022 or 2023. And the best part? The periscope lens is going to allow for up to 10x optical zoom. Yeah, no one's doing it quite like Apple, right? Now on to some even more great news. According to the Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, the iPhone 14 will be upgraded from a 6-element lens to a staggering 7-element lens in its telephoto camera. Moreover, the new camera will have 8K video recording capabilities. It's Kuo's sincere belief that this 8K video recording feature will give a great user experience, as the iPhone recorded videos can be displayed on the TV now. With this marvelous resolution, we can expect to create pictures and videos better suited to Apple's new augmented and mixed reality devices. 2. The design change. According to renders and some CAD files recently leaked by reporters, it is now almost certain that Apple will get rid of the notch. The new design that will replace the notch will be a hole punch and pill-shaped cutout. This cutout will bring back much of the area that the notch took up. And who knows, we might even see a battery percentage indicator a few updates down the line. Now, the notch has been continuously getting upgrades since the iPhone X, but the fact of the matter is that in terms of screen-to-body ratio, the notch just could not compete with what the Androids were offering. Phones with in-display fingerprint scanners and motorized camera units were offering way higher screen-to-body ratios. And it seems like Apple has finally decided to up its game too. The new phone is going to have a thicker chassis. Now, what does that mean for the latest elegant design? Apparently, the lenses, LED flash, and LiDAR scanner will be lying flush with the rear glass. And let me tell you, this sort of non-protruding camera design hasn't been seen since the very initial days of the iPhone. On top of this, the flush camera might even feature round volume buttons that are a great throwback to the buttons from previous iPhone 4 and iPhone 5 models. Now, in case you're wondering, no, the lack of a notch does not mean that Apple will be getting rid of Face ID. The pill-shaped cutout is for the IR scanner needed for Face ID and will retain the same amount of security that Apple is currently offering. As for the rest of the design changes, Apple has also decided to remove the camera bump. Yes, you heard that right. Finally, the ever-increasing camera bump is going away. Samsung did this with their S22 Ultra model, and while it does make the design look a bit bland, we are hoping that Apple does it with a bit more finesse. The Samsung S22 Ultra's lack of a camera housing bump has been replaced by separate lenses slightly protruding from the back. On the other hand, Apple is rumored to be going with a completely flat glass back, much like the iPhone 5. This glass sandwich design is what people have been looking forward to, and since the iPhone X in 2017, this will be the most significant redesign Apple has had in over half a decade. But that isn't all there is to the new iPhone. The rumor mill has been working overtime and clued us in to some even more radical changes. For example, the device will be flatter due to eliminating the rear camera bump. According to some shaky expectations of a portless model, we might even see a new titanium casing.
But apparently Apple could be shifting over to titanium on the Pro iPhones in 2022.
Now, we know that Apple has always been way ahead of its competition in terms of using stainless steel for its phones, while the other companies have been stuck on aluminum frames. Apple has leaped toward a titanium casing, much to the delight of the fans. Not only will the titanium casing provide a lot of protection, but it will also help reduce the phone's weight. So slim, light, elegant, and strong is the best way to describe the new iPhone 14. The titanium won't help much with the heat dissipation, but for that, Apple has been experimenting with a vapor cooling chamber. This technology is restricted chiefly to high-end gaming phones, and while we've never faced any overheating or thermal throttling issues in Apple's devices, it's still a pretty significant change that will work out for the best. The processing power of the A16 Bionic chipset will be bolstered, so yeah, a vapor chamber cooling system in the new iPhone spells some good news for all of us, as it will help minimize the effect of faster chips. The iPhone 14 is also predicted to come without a SIM tray. According to some experts, the new iPhone will be getting a great upgrade that will add 5G connectivity to the entry-level phone. 3. Internal hardware. Alright, so now that we've got the camera specs and the design out of the way, let's talk about the internals of the new iPhone 14. Brace yourselves, because Apple fits its new product with pretty innovative technology this time around. First off, the new iPhone 14 will be using a Qualcomm Snapdragon X65 modem, which is said to be the world's first 10-gigabit 5G modem and antenna system. On top of that, iPhone 14 is going to have an A16 Bionic chip. And the most exciting part is that the A16 Bionic chip will be based on TSMC's NP4 process. This means we can expect to see a drastically improved enhancement of the 5nm family. Now, we have two different possibilities that are both credible, but the likelihood of one is more. The first possibility is that the A16 Bionic will be built on a 4nm chip manufacturing process. And yeah, we've all been hoping to see that since every phone manufacturer has been trying to achieve that pipe dream. But the more viable possibility is that there will just be a 5nm chip. This is pretty much a common occurrence, since this will be the third time in a row from Apple. So why do we think this is the most likely option? Well, TSMC themselves has released these new tidbits of information, so there's a lot of credibility to it. But the perk to the new 5nm chip is that it will have an incredibly efficient building process that's gonna blow everyone's minds with the performance enhancements. So yeah, the A16 is going to be as superb and powerful as we're hoping. In fact, it's going to be 10% more power efficient than the previous iPhone 13 chip. This basically means you won't have to fret over your battery life because Apple has left every other brand in the dust with this 10% increase in battery life. A smaller chip with greater efficiency is a pretty good deal, so fingers crossed that Apple will deliver on its claims. And that's not even the half of it, folks, because the new iPhone 14 will be fitted with 6 GB of RAM. Isn't that simply mind-blowing? See you in the next video. Till then, peace out.